Thank you, First Minister. I just wanted to ask you about a couple of polls around the gender issue that we've seen. Firstly, there was a YouGov poll conducted last week, which basically said the public, when you're looking at where people should be imprisoned, they considered whether that individual is male-bodied or not to be a more significant factor than whether they're convicted of a sexual offence. So basically, the opposite of what you've been in your response said in response to James. So a comment on that, please, and whether you consider Bryson to be a male or female male or female rapist. Secondly, yesterday's Sunday Times polling, are you concerned that this whole story is basically doing you some damage personally, the SNP and the independence cause? Thank you.
I'm always cautious about getting too drawn into opinion polls because it can work both ways. Look, I've got nothing more to say than what I've already said about the individual case. As far as I'm concerned, the relevant factor here is that that individual is a rapist and has been dealt with within the prison service accordingly, and that is appropriate. In terms of polls about party personal ratings, polls go up and down. I've been doing this for a long time now, as you all know. I've seen polls go up, I've seen polls go down. What I would say about recent polling over the weekend is that in what I think you are, so I'll stress it's your words, not mine, describing as not the best ever poll for the SNP, still puts the SNP significantly ahead of any other party in Scotland. I think would lead, if there was an election for either Westminster or the Scottish Parliament tomorrow, lead to us winning a landslide victory, and in a Westminster context lead to both Douglas Ross and Alistair Jack losing their seats. So I think perhaps that gives a bit of perspective to the polls that you're asking me about.
You're perplexed by this, that you won't say whether Bryson's a man or a woman, and as I say, the polling shows they do think that is an important question, as James was saying.
I think people are capable of listening to what I'm saying and making their own minds up. So I will continue as rationally and as calmly as possible to answer these questions, and also to make this principal point that I think is really important here in the trans community, as it would be in any other group, particularly any other minority group in our society, that where individuals or small minorities within that group do wrong, you deal with the individual. You do not use that as a reason to stigmatise or take away rights from the whole group. And I think that is a really important principle in any society and in any democracy.